Hi, I'm Carla, singer-songwriter living in New York City. I make music about love. I write books and other things about love because I love love. I'm an online friend, auntie, big sister. I've been involved in various women's groups online that talk about relationships, from seduction, attraction, relationships, dating. I love that kind of stuff. And I just realized I write about it so much, just for fun. Let me write like a real book about it. I mean, I obviously have a lot to say. But to the groups that I have been very involved with, on the left was Mama Gina, full name, Regina Mama Gina Thomas-Schauer. She was fantastic about teaching about pleasure and how to use that to rule the world. That's what she says here, using the power of pleasure to have your way with the world. And then there is, on the right, I have another book. He's really not that into you. He's just not ready. And that's the ultimate guide to dating emotionally unavailable men or guys who want to take it slow. And that's Katarina Fong. I am a moderator in her group, which is about over 30,000 women. 3,000, but it feels like over 30,000, I'm telling you. She has over 3,000 women, talking about love and men and relationships. And I'm learning so much from being in association with all of those women. And I learned so much about love. And I think I said this earlier, but I will say it again. I've learned that we are much more the same than we are than we are different. And just hearing all these stories over and over again over the years, I just realized, there's really nothing new under the sun. No one really invents things when it comes to human nature. We just repeat the same things over and over again. But hopefully you have other people that you can turn to that can teach you about some of the experiences. And I feel for me, if I can share some of my information and hopefully teach you something, that's the better way to go, and hopefully save you some time and some heartache. So in tonight's workshop, you will learn why going into his man cave helps a man love you more. You will learn why feminine mystery is a superpower. You will learn how to create your own reset vortex, love reset vortex, how to create your own love reset vortex to attract the best love for you. And I will answer that age-old question finally: why do good girls fall for bad boys? Now, why does going into his man cave help a man love you more? John's Man Cave, established 2016, my cave, my rules. Now, the thing is, when it comes to men and women, that whole game, women, we want men to do stuff. We want them to marry us, propose to us. We want them to call us after a date. We want whatever, we want stuff, right? But sometimes a man just wants to be left alone. Now, I know some of the women are going to take my woman card away from me, but it's true. And I'm here to tell you tonight that there are extreme differences, or maybe not so extreme, but maybe it depends. But in general, there are differences between men and women, and we must respect that. And even if we're talking about same-sex relationships, there are like differences in the energies of the masculine and the feminine energies, and they balance a certain way. They are not the same. There's going to be some kind of polarity. Otherwise, it's boring and it's not exciting. And for a man, he needs to have a place that is his own. My cave, my rules. A man, most of all, he really wants to be independent. He wants to believe that he is free to do what he wants to do with his life. And, I guess I really can't blame him. But, women, we can't help ourselves either. We want the man to do what we want him to do. Dang it. And if he doesn't want to do it, I just, anyway. So, but a man wants to have a place of his own that he is the king. And a lot of women who live with a man will talk about, well, my guy, he has a man cave. Why does he need a man cave? He has a whole house. But the thing is, A man cave is the place where a man can go, a person can go. I have my girl cave. It's all good. But it's a place where we go that no one can tell us anything. It's a place I clean when I want, if at all. It's I decorate it however I want, if at all. And it's the same thing for the man. You know, if he just wants to have a place of his own, a space that he can decorate and just do whatever he wants. Now, if you are in a relationship with a man and you're not living with him, there's still a man cave. A man cave is just sort of, it represents this place that the man goes. You know, when we talk about why men pull away, you know, you might be having this wonderful, romantic, lovely time with your guy and having this wonderful romantic, and then it's over, or he decides, oh, I want to hang out with my friends next weekend. And you're like, I don't understand. We just had the best weekend. But that's just it. The man had his fill, and that's all right. Let him go. Let him go. You know, and I guess this is a good time for me to remind us of that rubber band theory that was talked about in Dr. John Gray's book, and Women Are From Venus. You know, it's a funny kind of title and everyone makes fun of it. I make fun of it too, but there's a lot of truth in that book. Now, the idea is that when a man and woman, they come together, or, you know, two people in a couple, they come together, they have this closeness, and that is so juicy and it's wonderful. But usually it's the man, if it's a man-woman, you know, thing here, the one or whoever is the most masculine is going to want their freedom, and they're going to want to move away. They're going to want to back off a bit. And the thing is, that's all right. But the thing is, the person who wants the bonding to keep going on is going to feel a little awkward. You know, they're going to feel like, oh, don't go, don't go. But the thing is, you got to let them go. You got to let them go. And so when a guy goes into his figuratively speaking, his figurative man cave, he's going to do something else involving things that have nothing to do with you. He might be, you know, skiing or camping or biking or hiking or whatever he is inging. He's doing something that does not require your involvement. A lot of you will not like that. But I got to tell you, it's too bad. Man cave, my cave, his rules. So you got to respect that. And the thing is, you know, you don't really want a guy to be just like a girl, you know. I mean, sometimes we have these thoughts that a man is just like a woman or a hairy woman, but, you know, he really isn't, because like guys have thoughts different than women do. You know, like women, you know, we love birthdays and Valentine's Day and New Year's Eve and all those big holidays. You know, those are so important to us. They're so special. And maybe in the beginning of a relationship, a guy might do all those wonderful things, and maybe, you know, he might slow down, you know, towards the end or towards, you know, a few years in, and you're, you know, you might be really upset. But, you know, guys don't put that same importance on things like birthdays like we do. Some guys might, but for the most part, in my experience, they don't. And the thing is, I've seen a lot of guys get flushed down the toilet because they didn't respond the way a woman wanted to respond. And I totally accept responsibility on that one. I'm sure I've flushed my share of guys down the toilet, or, you know, just, you know, thrown the grenade after one of my expectations wasn't met, you know. But, you know, you got to let the man be the man. You know, it's just, for all the different ways we've changed and evolved over the years, we still have that reptile brain working. You know, we're still following those biological mandates that we just can't help ourselves, you know. Otherwise, well, as I was saying, you know, a man is not a hairy woman. I was just saying, you know, that is the secret right there. A man is not a hairy woman. You must remember that a man is different from you are. There's going to be the polarity. The thing that attracts you to another person is the fact that you are opposite, that you are polar, that there is polarity between you. That's where the sexiness comes from. If both of you were, the same in behavior, in mannerisms, you'd get bored. You wouldn't even be attracted in the first place. There has to be some things that complement you with that other. So a man is not a hairy woman. Otherwise, he's looking like this. This is Mr. Bean with like a hair weave, and look at the hair underneath his arms. I mean, it's just not really cute whatsoever. Nobody wants this. Nobody wants this. So let the man be the man. Let the guy, let the other person be whoever he is. And if he doesn't respond the way you want him to, then he's not the right one for you. Sorry. So why is feminine mystery a superpower? Now, the funny thing is, I love this saying. Okay, I wrote this saying, but I still love it. The thing is, I don't know. I feel like no one resonates. Well, it doesn't resonate with as many people as it resonates with me. But I just, as many times as I see things happen, between men and women, I'm like, it's feminine mystery. It's feminine mystery because it's so simple, so simple. But people, it's like one of those things. It's difficult, I suppose, in one way, but it's so worth it. So what is feminine mystery, by the way? Feminine mystery is allowing there to be space between you and your guy. So when you have mystery, that means you're not always calling him. You're not always texting him, even if it's like, GM, good morning. WYD, what are you doing? I mean, who cares? You don't have to respond to every email that you don't have to, and he doesn't have to respond to every email that he doesn't have to, so it's kind of better that that you are the one that he's wondering, oh, what is she doing? Then you don't want to be the woman who he's thinking, gosh, I can't wait till this woman gets out of my face. You want to have mystery, something well, no, that's a different story. But feminine mystery is one of those things that's so small, but very powerful. Don't text the guy all the time. Let him wonder what you're doing. Don't text him all the time. If he doesn't text you back, then don't text him. He's gotten you. He knows who you are. He didn't forget who you are. And the reason why, because the thrill of the chase is a real thing, y'all. The thrill of the chase. Seriously. Men love the thrill of the chase, and you have to respect that. Men enjoy the game. There's a saying, if a woman has a choice of 10 men, she will choose. But if a man has a choice of 10 women, he will play. Think about that for a second. The idea is that a man likes to believe that he is, masterful and sexy, and that he's surrounded by sexy women, playing electric guitars. This is Robert Palmer. I am 48. I'm proud to say I'm a child of the 80s. And this is a classic video, Addicted to Love by Robert Palmer, if you didn't know. If you've never heard this song before, go check it out. Addicted to Love by Robert Palmer. Anyway, he gets to be this, the suave guy in the suit, and he's surrounded by these sexy women. And I think men like to, single men like to fancy themselves, able to smell every flower. I'm not saying they have to sleep with everyone, but they want to feel that, that they get to see what's out there in the world before they are ready to settle down. And if your guy isn't ready to settle down when you want to settle down, you usually have to cool your jets, because a man really doesn't like to be pushed. A man wants to be the one to call you and set up the date. And by the way, those of you who are saying this stuff is really old fashioned, tell me, please, how is that working for you? Oh, that's right. I don't have questions enabled. Never mind. Okay. So yeah, I knew that. Anyway, men want to feel that they are sexy and suave, and that they have gotten their experience under their belt, or out of their, got their notches on their bedroom post before they finally settle down. But the thing you need to remember is this, another goddess secret, that the man who is magnetized to you will keep coming back. Now, remember what I told you before about that rubber band theory? This is what I'm talking about. A man will be very close to you, and you will get that bonding. So again, we're talking about that bonding. Women love to bond. That is our thing. We love to be in relationship. Men are the opposite. They like to be free. They like to have independence. But that push and pull, that is where the sexiness is. That's where the electricity, the polarity is. So even though a man will stretch out the rubber band and go as far as he can go, if he is magnetized to you, he's going to pop back. He is going to bounce back because he is magnetized to you, because he cannot get enough of you. Now, if you are the woman who is always calling, always chasing, always making plans, you don't give a chance. You don't give the man the chance to miss you. Give him a chance to miss you. Give him a chance to come back to you. And if the man doesn't come back to you, well, that's your answer. Your job is to do you and to focus on loving yourself. And when a man goes away to go camping or to go focus on his new business that he's working on or the new job that he's doing, if he is magnetized to you, he will come back. So all you have to do is pay attention to how long it takes him to remember that you're alive. Now, if it takes him too long, well, again, that is your answer. But the man who is magnetized to you will keep coming back. So let him go when he wants to go. Next question. How can you create a love reset vortex to attract the best love for you? See, there's a message. Love the phrase. Oh, Allison, hey. Oh, yes, that's true. Love the phrase, a woman will choose from 10 men and a man will play. That's true. You never heard. I've heard that before once, and it was anonymous, and I think it's really true. I think a man really wants to sow his wild oats. This is not something I'm making up, and again, here we're talking about how can you create a love reset vortex to attract the best love for you. And it's important to know what a vortex is. First of all, you're going to ask the question, well, Carla, what is a vortex? This is a vortex. And you're still like, what the hell is this, Carla? I don't know. Well, I'll tell you. Now, if you look at the center of this thing, this is an energetic field. This is called a vortex. Now, in a vortex, you imagine that you are in the center and that all of the energy that is flowing around you, it is for your good. Everything that is going on around you is for you to learn how to do something better, to become better at something, to be more connected to something. But if you are in a vortex of people that you're the center, but so is everyone else. Everyone gets their turn, but because you're all connected, you're all growing at the same time. So this vortex thing, you might be familiar with the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. I love that book. And he talks a lot about the mastermind. The mastermind, oh, it's also referred to in the Bible when they talk about when two or more are gathered in my name. You might have a mastermind group. You might have a prayer circle. This is when you join a group of people together in order to put your brains together, put your minds together, put your hearts and souls together in order to get things done, in order to learn something, in order to grow. And to be just one person by yourself, say you're in your 20s, you only know what you know. But when you start talking to other women who have gone through what you've gone through, you get to learn a lot more. So for a vortex, you're not focused just on being that one person in the center or just being like part of an energy field. You are talking about being with other women. Women are so powerful. I think it's important to note that, we talk sometimes about women being catty and bitchy to one another. And yes, that's true. That does happen at times. But I think the power of women is bonding and is we are able to lift each other up and to help each other up and teach. So in my opinion, if you form a love reset vortex, you are choosing to associate yourself with women who are kind and compassionate and are willing to teach you and are willing to grow. So that means not, if you were in your 20s, that means associating with women who are in their 60s, their 50s, their 40s, their 30s. You know, if you are totally, you know, if you're American, you might want to find out what's going on with your sisters who, you know, who do cover their hair, like on the other side. And, you know, it's really interesting for me. It was so, the first time I joined Katarina's group, Kat's group, I'm sure I was in my own kind of, you know, and I kept seeing like all these stories from women all over the world, because this group is totally global and it's 24 hours a day. So there's always someone talking about something. And when I first joined, I kept thinking, oh, these men all over the world, they're the same. And, you know, I could say that now because I was in a different place, but I've grown so much by being in relationship with these women. Most of these women who are like sisters to me, I've never even met. So it's important to choose groups or create groups of women whom you trust, who aren't judgmental, and who can help you learn something. And sometimes they can help you see something that you don't. For example, if all you've had is vanilla ice cream all your life, you say to yourself, wow, this is great. You know, and it is great. It surely is. But you could talk to someone who might say, but have you tried Oreos and cream? And you said, what? And then someone say, well, hey, have you tried Rocky Road? And you'd say, what? And then someone say, hey, I have some pistachio ice cream over here. And you'd say, oh my God, because you did not know that it existed. You didn't know that all of these flavors existed. You didn't know these options existed until you were in relationship with other people. So this is not for you to listen to everyone. You still have to dig deep within yourself and know and understand what is true for you. But if you can have, you know, an advisory board of other women who can teach you something, you can learn and you can grow that much quicker and get the love that you want. So that means also choosing women who are who are your current role models. I'm not talking about celebrity people, because you don't know those people. And I don't trust celebrities anyway, because I know how much they pay, you know, to be famous and to be out there and to get exposure. But I'm talking about, who do you know in your life? You know, is there a woman who's been married, you know, for a long time, who has a marriage or a relationship that you admire? Is there a relationship between a man and a woman in a relationship that you respect, that you think to yourself, wow, the guy for me, he's going to treat me like Joe, you know, or Bob, or, you know, whatever his name is. You know, when you see, like Tony Robbins likes to say, success leaves clues. So when you see other people that are getting what you want, it is a sign to you that you can get it too. So if you are, when you were, like, for example, when I was struggling in my marriage, I was married once, you know, I wasn't going to get the best relationship advice from my single friends. My single friends are great, don't get me wrong, but the women who were married a very long time and had gone through all kinds of stuff, they were the ones who could really understand and advise me. So it's good to have an advisory board, a team, a vortex of women. And the reason why I say that a lot is because there is power in sisterhood. As I said, yes, we can be bitchy, we can be, you know, we can be catty, whatever, but we can also love each other. And there's nothing like your best girlfriend when you are feeling low and you tell your friends and they're like, oh, are you kidding? You are beautiful. You're a goddess. You know, women are so, you know, someone's saying, I'm having a hard day and I need some love. You tell your friend that, then she's going to give it to you. And I said, your friend. I'm not talking about someone who you're trying to impress. I'm talking about your real friends. And that is what a love reset vortex is all about. Creating an advisory circle of friends who can help you and give you ideas and love and wisdom and support. Oh, and before I forget, because I remember when I was doing a test earlier and I was going through one more thing, and I think it's still powerful to note. Now, speaking of sisterhood, I want to say right now in front of anyone who's listening that there is no mistake that the powers that be are not happy when women get together. You know, there's a reason why there was a witch hunt. It's because women in groups are powerful. We make change happen. So there are reasons why they are in our bodies, our reproduction systems. There are all these reasons why the powers that be have to somehow have their hands on everything. And the reason why that is because we are so powerful as women. We all have something within us that is just ready to just explode. And when we are together and when we know of our power and we put it together, we make things happen. People don't want you to know that. They don't want you to know that. They want you to doubt yourself. I want you to support. As women, let's support one another. Okay, rant's over. I do. Good girls fall for bad boys. Everybody wants to know that question. But you know what? You're not going to like the answer. And the thing is, everyone asks this question over and over and over again as if there's really some answer other than the one I'm going to tell. Because, you know, as the big sister, the auntie, I'm going to do my best to be kind and compassionate and tell you things in a positive way. But it doesn't mean you're always going to like it. So, and this is going to be one of those first things. Why do good girls fall for bad boys? The first reason, or the only reason, it has to do with self. It has to do with self-love. Crickets, it's quiet, but I meant that. The reason why good girls fall for bad boys is that the good girls aren't ready yet. If everywhere you go, there is a problem, guess what? That means you are the common denominator. You are the common denominator. Not that guy who stole your money, not that guy who ended up being a drug dealer, not that guy who ended up having a wife. It is not about finding the right person. It is about being the right person. I know it's another one of those cliches, but it's a cliche for a reason. People say it over and over and over again because it's true. It's not about finding the right person, but being the right person. And what that often means is when we see ourselves asking that question, if I keep seeing the same guy over and over again, but with a different face, maybe, just maybe, and nobody wants to think about that, but at some point you have to do the inner work. Now, the inner work, just because I like the mirror, the inner work means looking down deep within yourself. That means looking at your limiting beliefs, looking at your old relationships, looking at your patterns, looking at your childhood, looking at all of those different things. There might be something that happened to you when you were 5 years old that might still be running the show right now, and you're 28 years old and you don't even know. So you have to take the time to look at your life and your own experiences and see, okay, I see where I could have done this better. I see how I could have done that better. Because it's not just about the guys that we attract. It's the guys that we choose to respond to. Everything that we do is a choice. No one makes you to fall in love, you know, with that bad boy. You still have a choice. You are still the boss of you. And if you have any problem with that, you definitely need to get into a love reset vortex and get your girls with you and have them help you and have them help you learn from their mistakes as well. So are you ready for a love reset? You know, maybe you might find yourself in some kind of rut, whether you are married or single. Sometimes we find ourselves spinning our wheels and doing things over and over and over again and wondering why. Well, sometimes we have to stop and have a love reset and just, You know, I mentioned Tony Robbins earlier. He likes to talk about a pattern interrupt. And what a pattern interrupt is, you know, when you've been spinning your wheels over and over again, a pattern interrupt is when you do something sudden and shocking and something that changes and shakes up your system and breaking your routine. And that's what a love reset is for me. I happen to create this little diagram that you see now in Canva, if anyone does that. But I like the whole idea of having some sort of push button love reset. Now, I know that no love reset is going to ever be that easy that you just press a button, but I like that idea of having a love reset when you are acknowledging your chance to do something different, to make a new thought. And that is what a love reset is all about. So I am so excited to teach you or to tell you about my new book. Dun, 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 The Love Reset, Why Men Pull Away and How to Pull Them Back. You got some of the Goddess Secrets today in, and I have like a 105-page book, and there's a lot of stuff going on, and I have more news and tips on that. And thank you so much for watching tonight's workshop.